The first speaker is Mr. Luděk Šafář from SAS. He will speak about the future of enterprise systems and superstructure. I'm very much looking forward to. Dear friends, welcome to this presentation. Thank the organizers and predecessors. And I hope you are looking forward to my presentation, which is called The Future of ERP Systems. That's an extremely interesting topic, because when we look at what is going on in ERP systems today, there are several trends we can observe. Some of them are so clear that they were already mentioned by my predecessors. I also felt intrigued with this slide, the third and fourth place in priorities of investments. There is not only AI and machine learning, which is very closely connected with AI, but also cloud platforms. This is intimately connected with what will happen in the future. How do ERP systems develop nowadays? What is their hype curve? You heard about it as well. And we can notice a lot of interesting things at this hype curve. If you look at it attentively, most of what's written here relates to the first topic, I mean artificial intelligence, and the second important part of points relate to the second topic, and it is cloud. These two are also closely interconnected with my basic four topics: what's going to happen in the ERP systems, what forms they will have, and here they are, my four basic points, as I said. The first one being integration of AI into ERP systems in a larger context. AI is a general technology that will have an impact on our lives in many different spheres, not excluding ERP. It's closely connected with the data analytics, so I will speak about those two things. Migration into cloud, I will not speak about it because you can find a lot of information on web and get information from these sites. Also, you heard quite a lot about it today, cloud migration. And then I would like to turn my attention to something inspirational, something important for the future of ERP systems, and could be, as I said, inspirational for you. Let's start. Let's start with the first point, AI and analytics. This is not a new term. However, it's the term that in recent 2-3 years got into the very center of public space. Today, it's rather impossible or very difficult to avoid it. Our institute, the SAS, that deals with AI and analytics since years, only now sees that the public is willing to discuss these topics with the institute. And in order to understand what will happen in those systems, we must specify what do we understand under the term of AI. It's being much spoken about, but very rarely it goes into depth. It's a non-biological system that is capable of fulfill some tasks. It's not something new for us. Mixers can mix, computers can compute, and so on and so forth. We have machines for practically everything. But now we get to a technology that will be able to do everything. AGI is now very much discussed, artificial general intelligence. It's an autonomous system that overpasses human competencies in most of tasks. In some sectors, it happens that they develop in leaps, for instance, aviation. In 1903, there was the first piloted flight materialized, and then in 1969 the first human being sat there.
foot on moon. So you can imagine this exponential innovation. And this is what is happening now in our sector, this exponential innovation. And it is difficult to say where we will end up. For one reason, we speak about exponential development, AI, exponential development, and we human beings have difficulty to assume any exponential development. This is a curve during the COVID pandemic. And not many people could believe that there will be an exponential development of COVID cases. So if we actually say that nowadays AI is experiencing an exponential growth, it is difficult to guess, to reckon what we can see in the near future. And our standardized linear systems will be influenced by the exponential curve. And everything can actually be driven by this exponential curve. We have got some prognosis ready where this system might be replaced and when. It should not be very, very soon. You can see those outlooks on this server. In 2027, or another prognosis, another outlook says it should be in 2032, which is in relatively close horizon. And speaking about AI, people say I asked AI and I consulted AI. We often forget what it means, what it is, AI. What it stands for, because we have got some expectations and they might not be so clearly efficient. And that's why I wanted to dwell on this topic and say something about the relation between AI and analytical data. And you might have already checked this out. You might have tested ChatGPT and other models. And I actually use this word model because AI, as we know, is a set of mathematical operations, and they might be extremely complex and complicated and composed of a huge array of data, and it might be so complex because it will use so many data that for us it will be so difficult to find out why the model works this way and not that way. We have got technologies with high performance, but we can only try to explain what it all involves. And AI, we have got so many models of AI, but we very often speak about the generative AI, which is the LLM, large language model, and a typical case is ChatGPT. The LLM, when used for analytical and knowledge-based tasks, will lead you or might mislead you. That means if you use LLM for predictions for such big tasks, you will see the performance going up first, but the result might be very difficult to actually replicate and trace. because you will put some input parameters, but then external conditions will change, or the setting conditions will change, and you will not get the results that you will need. And that's why be cautious whenever using this typical generative AI for manufacturing planning or supply chain management. An example to share, let's say we have a PO from order from a customer, and we put it into the large language model, and that, as I've said, is a great tool for language tasks. If you need a summary, if you need to find links between data. But if we have an order and put it into the LLM and then we use it analytically, that means we explain how it works, what we found there in the summary. Based on what we found there, we will use the decision tree and we will decide what we will do with it, how it will be divided. We are not going to ask the LLM anymore. We have got different analytical tools to use for that. And then based on it, we actually have a reply generated, and we use another language model. However, first we will have it checked by the operator, who has to approve it. And once he has approved it, the operator, we will send it. This is a chart which should prove to you that AI cannot be relied upon solely, because there are some limitations and there are some features which we can use. What is important for us is whenever we use such technologies in our everyday business, we need to know the context for which we will use it. In this case, demonstrated, the LLM is actually good to be used for language-based tasks, and of course other models are trained to create scenarios or analysis, and then we should use them. If you want this to work well, then of course next to ERP systems, there should be data platforms used by companies for various tasks. And they should or can be combined, and they should be fed with data to be able to learn. And that would be an ecosystem in a given company, making the results reliable. Now I'm going back to analytical data. What we do in analytics, we always work with some task where we look for a decision, and we always pose questions, and we use technology for it, and then we have to decide based on all that. And if we want it to work well, we need to have a few components there. First, we have to have a good, reliable database. All legacy models or future models will be only as efficient as reliable the database is. We will have to train them more, and the data management is still actually in its infancy. That means that I would like to appeal to you. You should see data as one of the best valuable asset for you. You will need data even for the emerging AI. Once we have accumulated data bases, we start developing models. We are not gonna develop them all on our premises, although we have seen that already before this huge boom of AI. Many companies have developed analytical data by themselves based on the knowledge of their processes. And those models have to be relearned, retaught, retested. We have to always look for the optimal path, how to use this technology. Our competitors have been investing into the development of models, and so should we. And last but not least, we have to deploy the models. We have to implement them in the company. We have to have mechanisms how to deploy them so that they cover the whole business task. All in all, what is going to happen in AI, specifically in ERP systems? Don't forget that AI is a generative technology and also a general technology that will influence our business behavior. To compare it with electricity, electricity per se does not seem to be so important, but of course we have got all machines that need power, that need electricity and are driven by electricity, so our processes will be driven by AI. Anybody talking about AI should explain what AI should be doing and what model of AI that should be. AI and very close specialties, machine learning, etc., will be only underpinned by data. And analytics is the connecting link that will underpin the data. Model, that is so important. You will be actually seeing it everywhere. When speaking about AI, it's always about AI models. Someone has to actually train the models. If you have an external model, a ChatGPT, you need to know what data it's been trained on and what risks it has. So AI in ERP, it will be a daily routine. There are some limitations, as I've said. There are some specific situations or areas where to use it, so use it according to the field you will use it in. Another area I want to speak about is the following. I'm gonna skip cloud, but let me say something about other areas and let yourself inspire. So we've been speaking about AI, that AI could replace us, or even it could actually do tasks better than us. So in ERP, there's many processes which can be easily automated. They are still done by people, but the number of people will be going down. And please be the ones who drive automation and not those who are affected by automation.
One interesting thing, the way data networks develop, there is a technology trend, Internet of Things, that intervenes very much. A lot of data can be generated directly from the physical underlying fundament. The machines can issue their own reports on what they do, under what conditions, or goods being shipped can be tracked, whether it's on the way or whether the the delivery stopped. Just in time will probably not work. So these phenomena influence very much ERP in the present. Something that is rather neglected now is the methodology of blockchain. Blockchain is not only Bitcoin. I think it's a highly perspective technology, especially from the point of view of credibility among subjects that previously have known each other, in traceability, if there are complex ways of to be tracked. So these things can be well managed by blockchain technology. However, it's not being used yet, and it's still so good at it. So I suppose the blockchain technology will get more and more interesting for ERPs. Last, we will speak about is users interface. User's interface is specific. It's based on a training spectrum we give to ERP. We can presume that the role of ERP will be atomized as far as users' roles are important, or as far as their motivations to use. So we've spoken about things, we've spoken about AI and data analytics, and we've spoken about 4 basic changes that are to be expected. Concerning ERP, this is definitely not something that will disappear. I hope that in cooperation with Unicorn University and also perhaps with the help of this presentation, you will be more comfortable in navigation throughout the modern world. Thank you and goodbye. We thank you. Superstructure did include every component, including blockchain. And as I said, don't hesitate and send your questions. We will pass them over to our colleague.